Hey, it's summer. I'll plant some nice dainty salad greens in the garden. What could go wrong? Well, I'll show you what could go wrong. This salad is hot. It's spicy, incredibly pungent. I feel like I have smoke coming out of my nostrils right now because this is arugula, and it is much, much stronger than the arugula that you normally get at the grocery store. Or rocket, as the Brits would call it. Let's dispense with the etymology before we get to the chemistry. Believe it or not, rocket and arugula are the same word. Rocket and arugula are both just different evolutions of the same Latin word for this stuff, which is eruca. Eruca sativa is the scientific name for it. Eruca became the Italian word rucola, which is what they call it in Italy today. And you can hear how it sounds a lot like the American name, arugula. You gotta remember that most Italians in the United States came fleeing extreme poverty in southern Italy. That's where my ancestors are from the heel of the boot there, the Puglia region. The toe of the boot is Calabria, and it seems to have been the Calabrians who introduced arugula to the US. Or at least the Calabrians introduced the name. Here's the Oxford English Dictionary. Arugula is from the Calabrian variant of rucola, which is aruculu. I don't know, or maybe aruculu or arucula. Easy to imagine how arucula would change into arugula given a few decades of life here in the United States. Indeed, here is a 1960 New York Times article. Italian chefs know arugula, or rocket, call it what you will, is the secret ingredient of many of their salads about town. I love it when my salad goes out on the town. It always comes back smelling like taxi. I doubt it's an accident that a New York Times writer in particular wanted to acknowledge the existence of an American and a British pronunciation of this word. New York Times readers then as now like to fancy themselves as somewhat transatlantic, right? And rocket is the European word. It's actually from France, don't you know? OED says rocket comes from the French roquette, which in turn comes from the northern Italian versions of rucola. Like there's this Venetian version, rocchetta, which is only one letter away from a different Italian word, this one meaning a cylindrical projectile that got anglicized into rocket, spelled and pronounced exactly like the vegetable, even though rocket and rockets are very different things with different etymologies. The point is, rocket is the fancier version. It's the northern Italian, French, English version of the word for this stuff. Arugula is a word more like gabagool, right? It's that kind of mumbled, garbled, greasy southern Italian poor version filtered through the New York area where all of those people settled, again, including my people. Arugula is the working class name for this veg here in the States, which makes it kind of ironic how, in more recent years, arugula has become an emblem of elitism in America. People think of it as the food of those who can afford personal dietitians. I mean, arugula is legit extremely healthy. I'm not going to eat this every day. I'm just not. So that's one of many reasons why I take supplements from Ritual, sponsor of this video. They send me my stuff in the mail so I never fall off the wagon. I take their multivitamin every day. I drink their plant-based protein powder. And for gut health, I take Synbiotic Plus, Ritual's 3-in-1. It's a prebiotic, probiotic, and postbiotic. It's a daily pill that seeds and feeds the microbes that live in your intestines. The postbiotic provides fuel to the cells that make up the gut lining, and it supports gut barrier function. The other top-selling gut supplements do not include a postbiotic. Ritual does. Ritual capsules have delayed release technology so that the good stuff makes it all the way down to your colon. Plus, they're vegan, they're gluten-free, really lots of people who have sensitivities that make it so they can't take other vitamins and supplements can take these. Ritual is offering you 20% off your first month. Just use my code AdamRagusia20. That's 20% off during your first month at ritual.com/AdamRagusia20. Use code AdamRagusia20 at checkout. Thank you, Ritual. Anyway, arugula, or rocket, or whatever you want to call it, what is it? How did salad become spicy? Arugula is spicy hot for the same reason that mustard seeds are spicy hot. Both plants are brassicas. Mustard greens, arugula, broccoli, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, horseradish. Those are all just radically different cultivars of the same wild ancestor, the mother brassica. One thing all brassicas have in common is they produce chemicals
called glucosinolates. That's a glucose group on the left and an amino acid group on the right. And check all the sulfur. That's why arugula at its worst just kind of tastes like a hot fart. When you eat arugula, you break down the cell walls, and you bring the glucosinates into contact with an enzyme the plant makes called myrosinase, which converts the glucosinates into isothiocyanates, I think. And it's the isothiocyanates that actually tickle pain receptors that are on your tongue, in your mouth, and up in your nose. Same way capsaicin does, the stuff that's in chilies. The practical difference being that capsaicin has a stronger sensitizing effect, meaning the pain builds up the more chili you eat in a sitting. Mustard oils and such are less sensitizing, studies have shown. The burning sensation goes away faster. It doesn't accumulate over the course of the meal like chili burn does. But this one is still pretty darn hot, for a salad green no less. I think part of the problem is that I'm growing an older variety, an older cultivar. It has not had all of the spiciness bred out of it for the modern market. Other thing is that I'm growing it in summer. Summer arugula is notoriously hot because the plant makes way more glucosinolates in the heat. The chemicals probably serve the plant as an herbivore repellent, but they may have other functions. There's research indicating they could help break down carcinogens, which may make them good for us to eat. There's also some indication they might be neuroprotective, which is good, but if it's so hot that you really don't want to eat it, you've got two options. One is to use arugula to pepper up, if you will, a comparatively bland leaf like this baby spinach. Eat them together in a salad and they even out perfectly. Second option is to cook the arugula, as I'm doing in these eggs. Heat deactivates that enzyme that converts the glucosinolates into isothiocyanates, and so cooked arugula is not spicy. It might not have the same health benefits, but it's not spicy, and greens are basically always good for you, so just eat them however you'll eat them. Because I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to eat much more of this. I mean, it is just smoke coming out of my nose. I mean, it is possibly the whitest thing I have ever said to say that my salad is too spicy, but my salad is too spicy. Sorry.